I think a lot of times kids have trouble deciding what is important enough to ask a question about, what's important, what's not.
Yep.
What's just like in a math problem.
Absolutely.
Where's the extra stuff?
And so that becomes one manageable step that we have to teach right there, is just what's important. How do you decide that something is important? Absolutely. What else?
I thought maybe just teaching them the 5 question words: who, what, where, when, why, how. Would
Yeah,
say
so
5 or 6.
there's fairly limited support in this initial lesson here, and so that can provide an initial scaffold or an initial support for students. Sometimes in the youngest grades, and you can teach this in some of the youngest grades, but they know what a question is. As one teacher said to me, I don't understand why they can't do this. They ask me questions all day. When is lunch? Can I go to the bathroom, right? So I don't understand. They do know what a question is. But if you start this, it's kind of backwards to look at a text and then think of a question. And so if I ask even second graders who haven't done this before, and this is, not necessarily a student with a reading difficulty, just in a core instruction, they'll often say to me, Pam went to the park. And that's not a question. That's the answer that you're wanting to make a question for. But so sometimes that's the first step, is just thinking about that. And I didn't give you a grade level with this particular one, so that would depend a little bit on the development. But absolutely, the what's important, and thinking about the questions within that and providing support for that. And question words is another good way to do that. Really, an example of being dynamic in terms of explicitness, if question words wasn't enough support, a support even beyond that is to start the question for them, give them stems, and they work with that as well. And so those are the kind of changes that we can make in the intervention based on the student needs. And sometimes you just know that ahead of time. You've worked with the student. You know already this isn't explicit enough. I know already the question words aren't going to be explicit enough. And sometimes I think I've provided the support, and then I realize when I'm in the middle of teaching that this is not enough, or it's not explicit enough, and we can make changes from there.